The following program is rated TVMA for language. We want everyone to be able to enjoy the program, but sometimes things happen, and we may say things that may be offensive to some or non-conducive to others. So in other words, happens. Oops. Welcome everybody, we are back with a new episode of BLERD and GOAL. I am your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington.
I'm the swaggy Blerd, Winston A. Marshall, and yo, we are so sorry we ain't done one of these in a long ass time.
I blame it all on Winston.
It's my fault. I will take that L. That's
Winston.
fine. Just like you didn't hit the record button when we tried to do our Blerds in the Hood this week. I kept not scheduling time for us to do this. But there's so much to talk about, and there's so much sports to talk about for those that haven't guessed yet. BLERD and GOAL is no longer just a football show; it is a sports show.
Well, because we realized that football, the NFL in itself, is just within, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. It's 8 months.
Well, the thing that they fuck us with is then they do free
agency.
Did they fuck us?
They fuck us.
There's free agency. There's the draft. There's mini camp. And
I like to see how I look in the
knocks.
camera. If you see me keep looking at myself in the camera in the monitor, I just want to make sure I look swole. I've been trying to work out a lot since we did the last BLERD and GOAL. I'm trying to make sure that you see the bicep. You see the okay, hold on.
All right, this show is much shorter than Blerds in the Hood, so we're going to get right into it, and I'm going to let this nigga stop to look at himself. We're going to talk about the biggest sports story that happened this week, and that, of course, is the NBA All-Star Weekend.
That went down in the crib.
Yes, in Chicago, which I'm going to let him pretty much lead most of this. Now, I did catch up on the dunk contest, but I had a very busy weekend working and everything else, so I did not get to watch
rage-breaking shit. So, the All-Star Weekend.
These are facts.
So, the All-Star Weekend went down in Chicago, and of course, All-Star Weekend, no matter what city it is filled with a bunch of events, both sponsored and non-sponsored by the NBA. And the NBA-sponsored events are just lavish, such as the celebrity basketball game, which saw many Chicago celebs play many other celebrities. It was a fun game. The Skills Challenge, I did not watch the Skills Challenge, so I didn't pull up all the info on that.
Who won?
I don't know, because I didn't pull it up.
You know who won?
No, nigga, I was doing research for other. Let me tell you something. When we had the original stories for this, I was just going to breeze through this because while I'm talking, you could be pulling up who won the Skills Challenge. But no.
Fine. Go ahead. Go ahead with your bitch ass.
So the Skills Challenge, we had the 3-point challenge. You can find that out as well because I didn't get that either. Because the biggest news I wanted to talk about was the dunk contest. The dunk contest every year is one of the biggest things.
Bam Adebayo won the Skills Challenge from the Miami Heat.
Oh, okay. So Bam Adebayo. That sounds like the incantation Chucky uses to switch his soul. So the dunk contest happened, right? And of course, this is the big year with players who are known for just putting.
Joe Harris won the 3. Nope, that was last year.
Just okay. I'm just gonna keep letting them finish.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep interrupting you.
I bet you are. The players who have made some impressive dunks throughout the season.
Buddy Hield won the 3-point contest. He won it. He edged out Devin Booker and Davis Bertans.
Right, I forgot because all my Chicago homies was like, "Buddy ass won," and we talked about.
He hit the last money ball at the very last second to beat out Booker.
Okay, so
there you go.
Buddy ass won the 3-point contest. The dunk contest had a lot of spectacular dunks. Pat Connaughton, he did a dunk and paid homage to Billy Hoyle from White Men Can't Jump, played by Woody Harrelson, where he did his last dunk, the dunk that Billy finally did in the movie. He did that. Everybody was like, oh, it's a cute little homage dunk. You had Derrick Jones Jr. Derrick Jones Jr. was going off of the Miami Heat. Had one dunk where he goes over two dudes' heads, grabs the ball, takes it under his leg, and jams it, right?
Jam.
Teddy Riley. Jam.
Jam.
But the standout throughout the entire dunk contest was Aaron Gordon of the Orlando Magic. Now, Aaron Gordon had a bunch of spectacular dunks he did throughout the contest, but his final dunk, which was to seal the game and the victory and the trophy for him, was to be over 7'5" Taco Fall. Now, what Aaron did, gave Taco the ball.
Also, by the way, Team Wilbon defeated Team Stephen A 62-47, and Common took the MVP game, and his boy Spice Adams was actually playing in the game.
No, Cream Biggums played.
Well, yes, he came as Cream Biggums, but Spice is, yeah.
Cream Biggums played. You would not disrespect Cream. Cream is an all-star athlete. You give Cream his goddamn props.
That's fine. I'm done looking up stuff. My bad.
Okay, so stay by your microphone, please. Thank you.
Yeah, here we go. So we just talked about Taco, right?
I'm at the Taco part.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going at Taco Fall's part.
Okay.
So I say Taco Bell. So Taco was 7. Taco's 7'5", single-release player, plays for the Boston Celtics. So what Gordon did is gave Taco the ball. Taco puts it behind his head, right? Holds it here. Aaron tells him just hold it. Now people like, yo, if he jump, you hit Kenny the Jet Smith. Like if he clears Taco, he needs to win this. Plain and simple, right? Because he needed 48 to win. So if he clears Taco, depending on how he hits this, could be a 50. Bam. Gordon goes back, goes up, takes the ball from Taco, clears Taco, and jams it. Everybody's like, yo, you just jumped over a 7'5" dude, the tallest person ever jumped over in the NBA dunk contest. Now, you would think all the judges are going to be like, yo, 10s all across the board. The judges being retired player Dwayne Wade, I think Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Chadwick Boseman.
No. It was Dwayne Wade, Common,
excuse me.
Candace Parker, Chadwick Boseman, and Scottie Pippen.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. My apologies. All the guys were there. They were doing the commentary.
Shaq had his Osmo.
Yeah.
He was out here.
I want to talk about this. First of all, before I go any further about the scoring.
No, but don't, because I know exactly what you're going to say, and don't do it because I was going to do a whole bit, so just finish what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay. And so the scoring happens, and everybody's like, there's got to be a 50. The place is going erupting, going crazy. The score comes out, 47. You see the look on Giannis's face. Everybody like,
everyone's
yo,
in shock and
are you serious?
Apparently, Dwayne Wade, Chadwick, and Scottie all gave 9s.
Gave 9s. 9.
Which the thing you said, which was interesting, is that Dwayne had said he was hoping that a Miami Heat player would win.
Again, Dwayne spent his entire career in Miami, so
that's
granted he's a Chicago boy.
He also played Chicago for what, half a season? So
half a season. He came home for a second, and
but I look, it was just really whack to see that. Now, what I was gonna say, the real story, like, now first of all, Derrick Jones Jr., his dunk, though, not only did he jump over two people we've never seen before, so he put it in between his legs while jumping over them.
Yes,
so
which was
kind of fire.
Which was very, 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 I'm trying to think of the word. It's on the tip of my tongue. It was very outstanding.
Outstanding. Yes, that's a good way to put it. But the real story of the dunk contest was whatever Party City ass, fake ass wig that Chadwick Boseman had on his head while he was out here very softly doing the Wakanda Forever. That, like if anybody didn't see my tweet, I put a tweet that said Wakanda forever, forever, ever, forever, ever.
Because
my nigga's soul looks dead. Like, he looks like the spirit of the powers of the Black Panther have been stripped away.
Like, let me tell you something. This is primarily the black folks.
Let me tell you something. 40 points, 50 points. Let me tell you something.
This is to all our black folks watching, and not honorary black people. This is to the niggas. You niggas gonna stop doing this. What kind of other Chad Boseman? Okay, this niggas die.
I don't feel bad for him for a couple reasons.
This niggas
no, nigga, because if they called you tomorrow and said, we want you to be Black Panther and do the Wakanda Forever shit, you would be fine. You got paid millions. The whole world knows your ass. Yes.
Also, I've done other films. Here's why I can bring that up. When I worked on Chirac,
but
when I was working on the film Chirac, Spike Lee joined Chirac, which you can catch on Amazon, and we were walking on set, and I was walking with Angela Bassett, legendary Angela Bassett. Yes, I got to be in a movie with her. Yes, that woman is a goddess. And we're walking, and we're going to craft services. We're talking, having a conversation. And so we walk in, and we're outside filming, and people trying to get her attention. They're like, Angela. Now, they don't know who I am. I'm just some average nigga in orange clothing. And so we walk in. Angela, we get a KLT. Now, we walk away. Some nigga yells out, anime! When I tell you the look of fear and of fear that I felt, because she had looks could kill, like she would choke this nigga's soul out. Like, out of all the roles she's played, you go back to the role in which she played an abused victim. Like, nigga, are you serious? So what I'm saying is,
but that to me is completely different. It's completely.
It's basically saying that a person has a library.
But also the only
Chadwick Boseman was James Brown. Nigga.
The only other things that he did, he was Jackie Robinson,
James Brown.
And he was James Brown. He did other movies.
Wasn't he Thurgood Marshall too, or some shit like that?
No, wasn't. If I remember correctly, that was what's his name that played Martin Luther King?
Derek Aiello.
Thank you.
That was another black guy.
Yes. But my point is this. Those are the only two other high-profile movies. He literally was in 3 Marvel films.
I get this.
4. He was in 4 Marvel films.
Everybody ain't walking up on Robert Downey Jr. going, I love you 3000.
Yes, they do. Because otherwise you bring up Doolittle, nigga, and ain't nobody fucking with Doolittle. All right? So let's be real. Until he does something else to stand apart from it. Because remember, Keanu Reeves was Ted. And then he was Neo. And then he was John Wick. My nigga had other shit to separate him. At this point, Chadwick is
First of all,
That
this is what
his
you can
role.
do. You can separate Robert Downey Jr. by talking about weird science. I don't know if y'all remember that. You could talk about
Nobody remembers him from anything but Iron Man. Yes, there was.
I remember him from the
We
drug
have
charges.
We have gotten off topic. This is a sports show, and now we're talking about this nigga with his dusty wig.
Nonetheless,
now, real talk, I love me some Chadwick. I interviewed him. He's the nicest dude in the world. But nigga, come on with your hair, bro.
So two other quick things I want to talk about before we run out of time, because we didn't talk about everything with this. The MVP trophy for the All-Star game has been renamed to the Kobe Bryant MVP trophy. Bryant, who was a 13-time All-Star, it was given in his legacy, as well as the new format to the NBA All-Star game.
Explain it to me. I didn't know what it was because I didn't watch the
teams
game.
play to 157.
Oh, so it's not even about time.
No, it's to 157.
So what did I see something about?
Well, they have times in they
have
have like scores going through the quarters, but when it comes to the fourth quarter, it's you play to 157. And this year, it got interesting because in the fourth quarter, people started really balling.
Yeah.
They were challenging calls in the ref's face. It was getting real on that court, and many people appreciated it because in years prior, everybody's just phoned it in for the All-Star game.
Of course.
But let's go forward to talk about a little bit of football, shall we?
Well, of course. I mean, Blerd and Goal. We're going to talk about the NFL, and last week on Blerds in the Hood, we had mentioned some of the big free agency news.
Yes.
And one of the players has already made a decision. Drew Brees will not be leaving the Saints.
Shouts out to Breezes.
He will stay for his 20th season in the NFL. He will stay with the New Orleans Saints. So they're waiting to see what deal he's going to sign, because the biggest thing that he has caused is drama because his contracts are always so big, which I don't blame nobody for getting the bag. But as anybody that's a Saints fan, I can see where that's a problem. You got a lot of people
because you can't get other
everybody.
players.
You're gonna have to pay Michael Thomas at some point. You're gonna have to pay Kamara at some point. You're gonna have to pay Lattimore in the backfield, in your secondary, and Breeze is coming back. So you got to hope that he decides to take a little bit of a discount so that you can afford to pay some of these younger players.
Which, speaking of younger players, now their backup quarterback who gave them 8 victories while Breeze was down, Teddy Bridgewater, is gone. He's an unrestricted free agent. He's going to test the water, see what happens everywhere.
Most likely. And now the other thing that's kind of interesting is that Taysom Hill, who was drafted and is this utility player who seems to be the heir apparent to Drew Brees.
Yes.
Now he's got to wait another year, but he's a restricted free agent and has decided he's going to try and push that because he feels like he could start somewhere. So you have this weird, interesting thing by Drew Brees staying. Do you think, as a Saints fan, this could actually mess up the roster going
I do
forward?
think it is. And I'll say this, as much as I am a Saints fan, and yes, I'm a Chicago-born New Orleans Saints fan, I believe that Drew Brees staying will do more harm than good. I understand you've been so close to get back to the bowl several times for the past several years, and it seems that one play has screwed you each time, and you want to finally go back to that dance to show that you can capture another ring. But at the end of the day, you are still a guaranteed Hall of Famer no matter what. At the end of the day, your legacy is cemented within the NFL. And if you are that much in love with the team and the organization of New Orleans, you need to allow that team the room to be able to grow. And yes, you are still a great player, but Taysom Hill has shown you that he can, like you just said, be the heir apparent to Drew Brees. Brees needs to go ahead and say, listen, I'll play, but not at the full capacity I was playing. I will help to groom this next quarterback.
Well, hopefully we'll see what happens with that. And the other big thing that we had is we had a signing today. The Seattle Seahawks have signed Greg Olsen for a 1 year, $7.6 million?
$7 million deal with $5.5 million guaranteed. That is a solid tight end that the Seahawks have been missing for a while.
They haven't really had, I guess the other Olsen that was there, you had Luke Wilson for a little bit.
They also lost, the best thing they had in tight ends was when they had Jimmy Graham, I honestly believe.
Absolutely incorrect.
Who do you say?
Jimmy Graham. Here's the thing. Jimmy Graham has not been able to block since he got in the league. He is a basketball player. He can go up and get it.
This is true.
He was a terrible blocker and made Russell Wilson use his legs more than he needed to. That's why he hasn't been effective in Green Bay.
Fair.
The nigga doesn't block.
Fair. This is very fair assessment. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see because Marshawn Lynch is probably not coming back for the season.
He literally just came for the playoffs.
He came for the playoffs to help out the team. And so now, again, you have Russell Wilson who, again, he is cementing his own legacy. He is showing who he can be. It's the question of, does this help Seattle? And is the next step to finally possibly get rid of Pete Carroll?
No, I don't think you get rid of Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll has done a lot of good for that organization and has made them a threat this entire time. I don't think that it's as good of a combination as Belichick and Brady, but I do think Carroll and Wilson have been a duo to be dealt with. Like, it's very hard to deal with the two of them. So I think that Pete Carroll and Wilson will continue to do that. You're going to get back Carson. You're going to get back, what's the other back that also broke his leg? I'm losing my mind.
I can't remember that. I know they broke a whole.
Yeah. So both of them, they're going to come back and do their thing. I think that this is going to be a very, very dangerous team.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. And also the XFL, the second week of the XFL, it has actually garnered more viewers and more attention than people actually expected it to because people remember the first incantation. Well, one of the biggest things this season has now been the extra point conversions after touchdowns. If you know, there is the 1, 2, and 3 point. Now, this depends on where you play from the goal line, from 5 yard, from like the 1 yard line, 5 yards, and 10 yards. Well, the LA Wildcats, in trying to come back against the Dallas Renegades, decided after a 44-yard touchdown catch to Nelson Spruce from Josh Johnson to go for a 3-pointer. And guess what? They converted and became the first team in XFL history to convert on their 3-pointer. It was Adonis Jennings who caught the ball for the 3-point conversion. Now, here's something Adonis did that was kind of weird. He threw the damn ball in the stands afterwards.
Okay.
Why? That's a history ball. You keep that.
Oh,
you keep that.
Well, because he was excited.
I guess.
He was excited. And I'm excited that we back. I mean, that's all of our stories. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Because
yes, indeed.
Here forever. You probably watched all the Blerds in the Hood. And you're like,
now you over here and shit. These niggas still talking
forever. Like,
can you imagine that we put these two stories in Blerds in the Hood? Nigga,
it would have been a long ass show. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But thank you so much for watching. We're going to keep the sports talk going. We're going to be back every week again. Follow us at our socials. We don't have it listed here, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you. At the Swaggy Blerd, THESWAGGY BLERD.
I'll put him in post.
And put him in post. He's Mr. J. Washington. You should know how to spell Washington, all that good stuff. But we will be here next week. We will talk some more NBA. We will talk some more. We haven't really talked Astros on Blerds in the Hood. I would love to talk about them cheating ass bitches.
Oh, that's going to be probably a whole episode.
So we can get into that shit for sure. That white man apology that happened, my nigga. Whoo, and a duvet. You better turn in that fucking and any sort of melanin card you got, my nigga, cause
somebody sound extra mad. But we will talk about all that next week. Thank you for rocking with us. And for those who are listening on the podcast format, we appreciate you all as well. We'll holler at y'all later. Take care. We're out of here.
Deuces.
Bye.